Alright, you're welcome back. In this section of the video, I'll be explaining to you how you can create a study area map for your next project, your research, your next assignment, and the likes. Alright, so let's get started. So before you get to create your study area map, you must understand, let me say, the paper size that you want to make use of, have the size of your paper and all of that. So firstly, for you to do that, you can just right click here, you come to page and print setup. So you can be able to select the paper size. Here I've chosen A4. Then the orientation, either landscape or portrait, you click on that. Now the study area map that I want to make now, I want to be my case study that I want to make use of is Osun State, and I'll be making use of the main case study I'll be making reference to is Obokun local government in Osun State. But before I can do that, I need to bring in the shapefile of Nigeria down to Osun State, then down to the local government. That is the main case study. Also, before you get to do anything, you must make sure that your ArcMap interface is connected to a folder. That is the folder where you have the shape files that you want to make use in the creation of your study area map. All right. So for me now, for you to do that, you just come to folder connection. You right click, you click on connect to folder. Then you navigate to the folder where you have your data. All right, so this is mine. So this is the folder. You see it has highlighted here. It's here. You click on this plus. Now clearly you can see that when you click on this, see that when I click on this plus sign, to bring out all the files that you have in that folder. So we are seeing the shape file here. The first one is capital. The second one is local government, localities, shape, and state. Now I want to make use of the shape file of the state, of the local government, and that of the local government. So for us to create our study area map now, in this we'll be having about 3 different data frames. One for the state, for the whole map of Nigeria. The second one will be for the whole map of Osun State, and the third one will be for our study area. So to make it snappy, let's just quickly create uh, the map. All right, so firstly, let's bring in our map of Nigeria. So you can just click on this one that is state.shp is the map of Nigeria that we have all states in Nigeria. So you can just left click and bring it in. See, it's now showing here. Now I want to bring out Osun State. Now probably you don't know where your state is falling, or probably you are not too familiar with the map of some states and you want to identify them. You can just right click here and click on label features. Automatically it's going to be showing the names of all the states, then you select the ones you want to work with. All right, now I want to export Osun State. This is Osun State clearly now. So there are ways whereby you can get to export it. But the very first thing you must get to do before you export it is that you must highlight it. Like, okay, I want to work with Osun State now. You must highlight Osun State for you to be able to have a successful exporting experience. So for you to do that, there are many ways. There are 2 ways, so to say, I can get to use that. Either you click on select features here, then you click on Osun. This is select features. Or you right click on this folder here, then you come to open attribute table. Then when you open attribute table, you come to where Osun State is, you highlight it, then you close this. Automatically as well it has highlighted it. So the next thing we need to do is just now we can export. You come to this layer, you right click, you come to data, then you come to export data. Then to ask for the output feature class, that is the folder where you want to save your exported file. So now I've actually did something like that before, but now what I'm just going to do now is just that I will just try to give it a name. And mind you, you don't give it a name that has been existing, because it will tell you the name already exists and it's not going to take it in. So let me just make it Osun. And also when you are saving your data, make sure you avoid spacing by all means. So for you to differentiate between 2 words, you can include an underscore state, and also your file must have an extension .shp. That is to simplify that it is a shape file. So instead of writing shp, you can just click on this drop down button, then click on shape file. Automatically it's going to write the shp for you, then you save. You see, now it's telling me that the name Osun State.shp already exists. Do you want to replace it? If I say yes, it's going to lead to an error. So what I must just try to do is just that, let me just add something to it to make it different. Let me just call it Osun_state A. So then I can be able to say, then you click on OK. If you want to add the exported data to the map as layer, then you say yes. So automatically now you see that the map has been exported. So if I want to change the color now, just exported fully. Let me just change it to green. So obviously you see that it has highlighted this, and this is showing green. So you can select it. Now, having done that, we have been able to create the first one, the map of Nigeria showing Osun State. Now let's come to the map of Osun State showing all the local governments in Osun State. Alright, so how do we go about that? We need to create another data frame. Come to insert, come to data frame. You see automatically a new data frame layer is shown here, and another box for a new data frame has popped up here. Right, and mind you, whenever you are creating a study area map, your main study, like the main place where you are going, where you are working, should be, let me say, the biggest, because that is the place where you'll be dealing with the most. All right, so you can get to arrange your map whichever ways you want it. And what you must just be able to do is that in the course of the creation of your map, you must be creative, at least creative to an extent, to make your maps presentable. All right, now I want to bring in the maps, the shapefile of all the local government here in Osun State. So you can just click on, you can see here we have lga.copy.shp. These are the shapefile for the local government. So you can just bring it in to this place. So these are the local government. But what I need basically is the shapefile of the local government that we just have in Osun State. So to avoid errors in the selection, what you have to do is just come to LGA, you come to the layer of shapefile, come to open attribute table. So now on this attribute table here, we have this local government in Kaduna State, we have that of Adamawa State, and the likes and likes. Now us that we're working with is that of Osun State. So quickly you go to Osun State, we're almost there. So now we have gotten to Osun State. Now you begin to select. You can get to highlight it here. Then you click on, make sure you click on the control button so that you can be able to highlight as many as possible without leaving any of the local government behind. You highlight this as well. And that's all for a selection. Then you close this. Automatically you see that it has selected it here as well. So you just do the same thing. You export your data, you look for the folder where you want to save it. So I can just call it Osun LGA Osun. Remember your underscore. You don't put space in it. It will tell you it's not going to take it from you. But let's do an example. Let's say Osun State .shp. Okay, we did Osun. Let's make use of the local government. Sorry, I wanted to say Osun. Sorry, Osun underscore local government LG. Let me say LG. Now the thing is that if you type the name and you put space in it, when you are about exporting it's going to give you an error that is just it's not going to permit the exportation like that. So from your end, you can get to try it, and but I'm just trying to manage time because of this video. All right, so let's save this. Click on OK. You want to add exported data to the map as layer, then you say yes. All right, so then you can get to off. We have selected the portion that we need. I just get to off this layer. All right, so we are left with just that portion that we want to make use of. But now you notice something, that this frame was meant for this local government, but it's looking very tiny. What we just do to make sure it is taking the whole space is just to right click here, you click on zoom to layer. You see clearly that is now taking the whole layer there. All right, having done that, our main case study is Obokun local government, which is this place. For you to select Obokun local government, you can click on select features, you click on it, or you come to your attribute table, you look for Obokun local government, you see it has selected it already, then you close. So you do the same thing as well. You export your data. When you export your data, let me just give it a name, Obokun _LGA. Also, don't forget your .shp, sorry, your .shp extension. You say okay, so yes. All right, so we have been able to show Obokun local government differently on the map of Osun State. Now the next thing you want to do is just make sure that Obokun local government on its own is standing. So for you to do that, you have to create another data frame again. So you come to insert, click on data frame. Yeah, so let's just make it bigger like this. So we're still going to address colors and all of that, but let's just to make sure that our arrangement are fine. All right, so let's use like this. All right, so now let's bring in, so we want to make sure only Obokun is standing in this place, and we have already exported the book, so you can just get a copy and you paste it in this new data frame. So obviously you see clearly that Obokun is now showing. So with this that we have done now, we have done the difficult part of the map creation. So what we just have to do is just to know how to make use of our colors, and as well to prepare the map, to make it okay, and insert some map elements like the legend, the true north and likes. So let's quickly go to that. All right, so let me just make this like this. So another thing is that you can get to create your map, which it depends on how you want it, in any kind of format or any style. Let me use the word. So I'll just be doing this just for this video sake. All right, so let me just off this. All right, now so let's just do let's just play around with the colors actually. So the map of Nigeria here is showing Osun State, and the color that is showing Osun State with here is green, like a deep green, to say, and this is another color. So I'll just, whenever I'm making a study area map, I usually make sure that the color this one is representing here is the color this is representing here, and this as well, like the same thing. All right, let's get to do that. So let's just try to make sure that Nigeria this color. So for you to know the color, you can just come to Osun State. So here is the color here. This Taborite green. So you come to this place as well. You click on and just play around your color just to make sure you are good. All right. So that's that. And as well, you can get to see that coming. So let's deselect this to make sure this is standing. Alright, let's select this. Alright, so we've done that. Now the remaining thing you just need to do is just to insert your grid line as well as the other map element. So let's run here. For you to do that, you left click on this, then you right click, you come to properties, then you come to grid, new grid, then you click on next. So here we have different options: label only, tick, map and labels, reticle and labels. Basically for me, it depends on how you want it to be. If you are just seeing label only, on this edge you are just going to be having the labels of your grid. When you say ticks only, it's just going to be having the tick and the labels as well. When you say this, so it depends on how you get to want it. But for me, in this, for the sake of this class video, so to say, I'll use label only. Then you can set the interval between each grid. So for here I'll be using 2 degrees or 2, so 2 degrees and 0 minutes. Then you can next. So for here you can get to increase the size of your of the font of the grid labels. So you can come finish, then you apply. So when you apply, you can see clearly that, let me just click on OK so we can have a clearer view. So when you zoom in now, you can be able to see that the grids are here, but I want to increase the size of this font so that it will be legible, that the map readers can be able to read. And also I want to make sure that this labeling is flipping, like standing vertical, like parallel to this line here. So what you just have to do is just you click on this same grid line, then you right click, you come to properties. Having done that, then you now come to the properties of this grid itself. The properties of this grid is talking about every attribute of the grid line, of the grid frame itself. So you click on properties. Let's assume that these distances between your grids are smaller or they are bigger and you want to adjust it. You can do that from this side. You can increase or reduce that. And also look at, coming back to this label now, you want to increase the size of the labels on the grids. So you can click on labels. Most times it depends on the processor of your system, that most times it just take a little seconds before it will come up. So from this label section, all right, so you can be able to change the font type. Like, let me use Times New Roman. And also you can change the size of the font. You can decide to make it bold. And also here we have label orientation. Now we have vertical labels. What this means is that which of these 4 lines, of these 4 sides, do you want to stand vertical? Like I was saying the other time, I want this side and this side to be parallel to this line. So I'll just choose the left and the right. So you check left and you check right, then you apply, then you click on OK, then you apply as well. So you get to see now that it has increased the size and all of these points are line parallel. And also, if it is that you want these lines to be showing, like you want the line that cut across these lines to be visible, so you can as well just play around. So one thing about study map creation is just that you just need to be creative and know how to deal with the to deal with your data and all of that. So when you come to data properties, so you can, it depends on how you get to want it. All right, so let's wait for it to load a little bit. But for me, when I'm kind of creating my maps, I love using this so that every content that I have in my map can show very much clear. So if you want your lines to show on it, you can just come to lines. You have 3 options here: show as a grid line, show as a grid of ticks. Here I chose do not show lines of ticks. That is why no line is showing within. But if you want a line to show within yours, you can click on show as a grid line. Then here you can deal with the color of what you want your grid line to look like. So you can just click on OK, then you apply. When you do that, you click on OK. You see that lines are showing here, but initially the first attempt it was not showing. But I, for my own sake, I prefer using just this labeling at this edge, just to make sure everything I have in the frame is showing clearly. All right. For another face, for another data frame, let's come to the map of Nigeria here. So when you left click and right click as well, when you left click and right click as well, you come to properties. So let's do that again. And also, when you left click and right click, for you to come to properties, there are some other ways as well that you can get to do this. When you left click on this, that you have highlighted this frame, you can also come to view, then data frame properties as well is located at this place as well. But for easy access, you can just left click, right click, then you come to properties. So you can see the same thing as data frame properties here. Then you now come to new grid art. You do the same thing for that as well. You do the same thing till you are gotten to the last part of it. See now, this is showing the lines and all of that. So I can just decide to make sure that it is not having line. So it's just do not show line, and you just apply. So, and I can decide to make sure it's having line. And also, these two sides, I want you to stand vertical so that there will be more space for other editing on the map because of creation. So you come to label. When you come to label, you make sure that you give it only 2 seconds, and then from that you'll be able to change the orientation of the labels. Alright, let's just give it a few seconds more. Alright, it's now here. So we now click on the left and right. Okay, then you apply. So we've done that for that. Then let's come to the third one, that is this. As well, you right click, you come to label, come to new grid. So you do the same thing like we've been doing. You come to this, you click on next, you finish, then apply, then that's okay. But if you look at something here, you notice well that the size of the font here is very, very tiny and probably not readable, and also the distance between these grid lines here are not that okay. Should in case someone else want to come to reference this map in the next time to come, it will be quite difficult for the person, although the person should be able to reference, but for convenience, convenience's sake, let me use the word, it is ideal that you make your map very okay. So what I will just need to do for this one is that I'll just need to increase the size of the font here. Alright, I will just need to increase the size of the font here. And also the first one that I did here, this one that is showing underneath here, remember I'm showing the grid line on the data frame. The second one I'm not showing it. Then the third one I'll be showing okay, let's change the size. Let's make it 12. Then you can as well increase and change the font type as well. You apply and okay. And also, like I was saying here the other time, so you can know in this one now, I decided not to put any line between so that my data inside can be more very more visible. So you click on, see now it's not showing well, click on OK. Now, but for this third one now, when you left click and you right click, you come to properties. Now we've done the grid line, is showing there already, but it is the properties. You see that the distance between this is too much and the font size is quite small. So you can get to edit it. You change the font size, change the font type as well. You can change the interval between each grid so that it will look more presentable and a kind of uniform. So let's wait a little till this will has popped up. Now the first thing that I want to do is the interval, the distance between these grid lines. So you come to interval. Now we have it to be 1 degree. So for it to show, but you can just try to change it to 30 millimeter. That's half of a degree. effectively. And so let's take a look at it like this. Also, we've done that. So now let's now come to the labels. Let me increase the label size to 12. Alright, Time New Roman, and also the labeling at the left and right side. Let's see the left and right. You apply, then you click on OK, then you apply again. Now you can see that it's showing now. So for this third one, like I was saying, now I'm not going to be making this line show, neither will I be using this method. I'll be using the third one. We have three options there. Let me show you properly now. We have three options on how you can present your grid line here on ArcMap. The first one is either you, after you might have shown your labeling, either you make sure, either you present or probably show the lines on the data frame, or you decide to make sure everything is plain like this, provided your labels are showing. And the third one is when you come to line here, you see it says show as grid of ticks. What it's telling you is that all these places that we have that these lines are intercepting, lines are not going to be connecting each other, but it is just the ticks in this format I'll be showing. So let's take a look at that. You apply, see now that it is just the ticks that are showing. So we have three options. It depends on what you just decide to make use of. Now it's making sense gradually now. All right now. So and mind you, when you are making your whole study area map, just try to make sure that you are using something uniform in this very example. Just make sure you are having a very good map production. But I'm just doing these three different methods for the sake of this video presentation. All of that. So now if you look at this now as well, this is bold and this is not bold, so you can as well just play around with it. But because of the time frame, I will just try to leave it like this. All right now. So we've done that. Now we have seen map of Nigeria showing Osun, showing Obokun, and this is our case study, so to say. So now, so we have inserted the grid line. Now the next thing we just need to do is to insert some other map elements like the true north, like the legend, like some other ones like that I'll be doing now. All right, firstly, let's insert the legend. For you to insert the legend of this data frame, you click on it. You've selected it, then you come to insert, then you come to legend. Then you see that it is the two things that we have here. We have Nigeria and we have Osun State. Those are the two things that is showing on this legend here. So you can decide to make sure that probably you want Osun State to be the first on the line, and just take it to the first. You can just take it out. Probably you want it to be vice versa. It depends. And here you can get to see how many columns. If you have many items that you want to represent on your legend, you can decide number of columns that it can be. So you click on next. So I haven't done that. So you continue to click on next till the end of the next. Here you can decide the kind of border you want your stuff to have, your legend to have, and just kind of color. Although you can see later edit them, just for the sake, you can see now that the legend of this box is showing. But you must as well, like I said, you must be creative in the course of the production as well. You can just double left click on it here. You can see the features here. You can decide. For me, I just love a white background most times when I'm creating my legend, so that it will be very much legible for even a layman to study what I'm producing. But if you look at this map here now, you see that this is just writing Osun underscore. Even the spelling is not correct, so you can always edit it. In this case, this is it here. For you to edit, you can right click on it. You come to properties, then you come to general. General is just talking about name and some other features like that. So I can edit this to Osun State, then you apply, so that it has changed here, and also it's going to automatically change here on the legend. So you do the same thing for this as well. You click on this, you insert legend, then you next. Alright, so click on next. That's when the process of your system was must be a very strong one. So that's why. So let's wait for it to load a little bit. Alright, so you click on finished. Alright, so you see that it has shown here, so you can. So for this tool as well, you can as well change the name, say, of local government here. See, still having underscore, and this is a data frame. You can still come here and write in this section now. You can get to put space in here, and there's not going to be problem. So we are getting to the final map presentation stage. And one thing about map production is that, irrespective of the kind of analysis and research you might have done, the best part of it that will make your map wow your audience stage, that we are the layout stage, whereby you will be able to present well what you have done to the audience. Alright, so we can as well design the frame. Also, you can probably change it to the color that you just want. Nice, let me just do this like this. And I said I love using white. It's my background, just make sure that things are legible. Alright, so we've done that. Now let's go to the third one. Even if we did not put it, it's obviously that it's very, very obvious, that this is a button like. So when we insert as well, you see that that's the only thing we have here. So you just wait a little. So that's the only thing we have. So after this one now, the only thing we just insert is we get to insert the true north arrow, and as well as the scale bar, the scale text. But for the sake of this video, I'll just be inserting only the true north, but I will explain how you can insert the scale bar and scale text to you. Alright, so let's just do this. So we are almost at the end of the video. Alright, click on next, and that's all. So we get to see that it's only Obokun that is showing, so you can as well come here to do some other edit. Alright, so you apply and you click on OK. So you can as well work with your your legend. Actually use kind of color, just make sure that this is becoming presentable. Alright, and one more thing that you must always do is that when you are creating a study area map, you are trying to showcase something that your audience can be able to see and understand. Okay, this is where your study is laying emphasis on, is talking about. So what I will just do here is just that I want to show how the projection goes. What do I mean by that? Now I want to show a line that is projecting Osun State out of Nigeria. Yes, out of Nigeria. Then Obokun State, Obokun local government out of Osun State. So you can just come to this drawing toolbar. If it's not on your own, you can right click here. Then you can always see it here. So this is it here. Alright. So you can just click on this drop down button. You can click on line. So using this line here, you can just click on this line here to bring it to project Osun State. This is Osun State. So you can just decide to probably make it like an arrow. So it depends on how you want to. So you just need to be creative on the presentation of all of these things. And the next one is you bring this towards the side. So in the course of your own presentation, you can just try to do with the colors at random, and that is all. So the next thing I'll just insert is the true north. You come to insert, then north arrow, choose an option from this option that we have here. You click on OK. Then this is it showing there. Then you drag it to where you want to place it, and that is all about that. And alright, so you can just make sure this is becoming bigger and front layer to make sure. So it is just your presentation that determines how it's going to look like. So for you to insert your scale bar and some other element, you can just come to this place. You can see it here, scale bar. When you click on it here, it will take you to okay. When you click on it now, you see other options what kind of scale bar do you want. When you click on it and you press and you click on OK, you get to see that it's going to be displaying there. All right, so with this section now, we have been able to explain how we can create a study area map for our next research and our next project. And also you can just be very much creative, that you know how to make use of your colors and just make sure you are presenting what is fine. All right, lastly, this thing that what I'll be explaining to us here is how we can export this map. Though we have done it, make sure you save well. And also, for you to export it, you just come to File, you come to Export Map. Now you can export your map in different format. You can export it in the JPEG format, and as well you can export it in the PDF format. We have many other formats here. We have the TIFF, all of that. So me, I'll be exporting this in the JPEG format. That is will be like a raster image, like a picture. So then you make sure you have a designated folder. I'll be saving this on the desktop. Alright, and you can just give it your name. Let me just give this study area map, and you save. So with that, we have been able to create a study area map. So let me just show us the study area map here. So right, so this is what we have just created on that section. You see now it's looking sharp and beautiful. So you can as well create yours. I can tell you can do something very better than this. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.